Let's talk about how to apply effects within Premiere Pro. We have this timeline open, and there are a couple of clips here. This is a clip of a tree branch sort of wandering into the sea. So this is nice. I've applied some effects to this clip here, and there's no audio, but I can play it through, and I hope it plays smoothly. We'll see how smoothly it plays, but it's only playing at like 1/8 of the resolution to be able to play smoothly. But let me see, there's a vignette applied here, and then all of a sudden I throw a filter on to turn daylight into moonlight. That's interesting. And then I apply this faded film effect on the end of this. And they all sort of like do their own thing in different times. That's interesting. We're going to learn how to do that. But first we have to learn how to just apply a simple effect to a clip that doesn't have any effect on it. There are a couple ways to do that. One of them is to do it directly to the clip. So let's take a look at a new clip. Let's see. Where's the new clip? There it is. It's coming. All right, here we go. Oh, there's guitar music. That's so nice. But what we want to do is apply an effect to this clip to make it as awesome as that other clip. So this one has no effects on it. This is just a blank clip. And so this is any clip you have in your timeline. We can apply an effect directly to this clip. And there are some easy ways to do that. There are effects that you can search for, video effects, and then drag and apply. You could do this all day long. You could definitely play around and just understand the different effects that you can apply to video and how they affect things underneath it. So do experiment with these things. But in terms of applying effects, just to take something and translate it into something that is a little bit more punchy and powerful or mellow, what you can do is take this clip and you can just go to your color workspace. And that opens up a little panel over here. In this case, it's Lumetri Color. And we have this ability to see that we have lost our timeline. There it is. We have the ability to have an effect on our clip here. So I'm just going to go to the very basic correction area here and make a simple adjustment, like take the white balance and make it more blue. And there you go. You see, this is just like obvious. You could change the color of things, right? Okay, great. You can make the exposure brighter or darker. You can have great control over a lot of the aspects of the image. If you recorded the detail that is required for you to make these kinds of adjustments, you're going to run out of detail in your highlights, your shadows in some cases, or you're going to have some really crunchy, weird artifacts if your footage isn't, real well recorded and standing up to the test of good photography. But that doesn't matter much as long as you're making what you want to make. I'm just saying that this isn't like shooting raw in a still camera and being able to adjust everything afterwards. You're just applying these effects to the image that you're recording. There isn't more bit depth in this case. There are ways to shoot video that have more bit depth and you can really tune things afterwards. But I'm assuming that what we're using is coming directly from a DSLR or something like that. So the effects that you can apply here are great and tremendous, and you can even use some traditional tools you might find in, for example, Photoshop, like curves, and you can have these powerful controls over contrast in this way. You can even get crazy. You can even adjust this so that it's completely out of whack. And yeah, you think this video is going to play? Yeah, it's still going to play. It may not be like perfect resolution. And that's a really crazy looking scene, but you know that I'm only playing this at 1/8 resolution. Each of these frames is high quality if you recorded it high quality. And so these effects, though they won't play in your player sometimes, will show up when you render it out as this sharp and detailed to every frame. And so sometimes when you're applying an effect in your timeline, it'll really slow down playback, or it'll tax your system. If your system isn't up to par, it won't be able to play back at full resolution. You'll experience something like this, which is actually perfect. Except my mouse is in the way. Okay, so obviously what we can do with the effects is infinite, and we can play with this to get the right effect. If you're going for something that isn't so nutty like this, I don't know how to get rid of all this all at once. The easiest way, I'm just going to go back to my effect controls. I see that there's Lumetri Color as an effect here. when I click on this clip. If I don't click on the clip, then we're not going to see that. But here, if I'm clicked on the clip, I can just click on Lumetri Color and delete it, and it removes all the effects that we applied through that adjustment set. Yeah, now we can take this and make something more normal. Let's go over here and let's just adjust it in a normal way. I'll try to give myself more room to see what this looks like. And yeah, I can do some normal things like make the exposure a little bit brighter. I think we could use some of that. And how do you judge that? How do you judge whether you're making it the right brightness or whether it looks good to you? Well, you can go and find something that is familiar to you. Like you can find the album cover that you really like, and you can say, oh yeah, I recognize the color of that. Okay, cool. And you can go back to your image and say, yeah, that's got something and that doesn't. And what does it need? Maybe it isn't a album cover you reference, but instead a photograph or a whole website of photographs. My go-to is like an Instagram page of portraits of different faces. But you can look at that and then like switch back to your editing program and see that, you know what, yeah, you can judge. Now, the best thing to do is use a good monitor and to really have the right feedback, just like it's important when you're editing audio, you want to use headphones or a good sound system, so you're really hearing the sound effect that you're having. So it's important to make these decisions wisely using good equipment. If you can, hook it up to a television set at minimum to just get a secondary sort of reference point for the color adjustment you might be making. But in this case, if I use a laptop and I boost the saturation all the way up to 150%, it looks better on my laptop. But if I look at the television screen that's above me, I swear I have it. It's right there. I'm looking at it. Then it doesn't look quite so awesome. It looks a little bit gross. So make wise decisions. But now that you understand how you can make decisions about what to apply as an effect, you can have control over how that clip looks. Now, I just want to say one little tip here. If you're trying to adjust for color balance and you're saying like, I don't know if it's the right thing, this is gray and the mouse is white. The mouse, or the outside of the mouse is white. So if you want to know whether something in your scene is white or not, you can just, or like ultimately the brightest it can be, put your mouse over it. It's black on the inside and it's white on the outside, and you can see whether or not the color around your mouse is as bright as the mouse is. And if it is, then you have something that's white or really, really bright. And that can be a really good guide. The other thing is that this is neutral and you can adjust color balance based on that. I'll just say one other little quick tip, which is that sometimes making the saturation way too saturated is awful. But sometimes it can lead you to make a slight adjustment in the color balance. And when you find the right match point, now this is perfect because it was shot in daylight, but let's pretend. When you find the right spot, like say this was maladjusted, it'll show up more readily when you're really saturated. So you can sort of make that, oh, I got the right thing, and then pull the adjustment of the saturation back down to something normal and confirm it alongside something else that you already know. Looks pretty good. Okay, good. So anyway, I want to talk about audio adjustment and applying effects to audio. So we have some sound under this video here. We have this guitar recording, and this guitar recording is it's kind of loud at times and it's quiet at other times. We see that in the waveforms. These waveforms peak up, almost peaking to the top, but it was recorded well. They don't peak. And then some of these sounds are very subtle down here. Obviously, we can take our pen tool and we can adjust the keyframes and make some parts louder and all that stuff. But there's also effects we might apply to the clip itself to make everything in the clip sound great. And so I'm going to apply an effect. Yeah, I like applying effects. So I'm going to apply effect to this guitar audio here. And I'm just going to click on it, and I'm going to, I don't know, what do you want to do? Let's go to Effects, and let's look for an audio effect. Yeah, let's look for, wow, there's a lot listed here. Oh my gosh. But I'm gonna, how about a multi-band compressor? All right, a multi-band compressor. A multi-band compressor is a audio filter, and I can see that it's being applied here. But what's the effect on this clip? We might hear it. Let's see. Do I hear it? I'm not sure. It's easy to turn the effect off so you can see the difference from before and after. And I can do that by clicking the little tiny FX button right next to the effect in that effects control panel. So here, let's play it and I'll toggle it on and off. All right, so it's doing something. What is it doing? It's taking the really loud stuff and it's pulling it down and it's pumping up the stuff that's a little harder to hear. And we can see more directly what it's doing by actually watching it as it takes effect here. I opened up the editor by clicking Edit. And now we have this representation of our sound in a different way. It's showing a spectrum of the sound from low end, this is 0 hertz, all the way up to 10,000 hertz and all the way up to probably higher, but it's not labeled. But we're seeing the spectrum of all these sounds along the frequencies. And we're also seeing that it's split up into channels, multi-bands here, so we can have an effect on the compression of sound. So if we see that this is constantly loud and bright there, we can just hear that part. Do we hear this? Yeah. So we can hear the different bands that are being affected. And so if we want to like push something down a little bit because it's bugging us, we can create a little bit of compression here, and we can see where it's holding it back from getting so high. And we can apply that to other areas. And you can hear the effect if you turn it off and on. So it's taking the loud stuff, pushing it down, bringing the quiet stuff up in the process, and then we can change the output gain so that we're hearing the normal level at a higher volume. We're going to hear a little bit more of the noise, perhaps, that's in the recording. But let's play this back and see if we can hear the difference again. I'll toggle this on and off. Yeah, I'm definitely able to hear more of the quieter stuff, and I'm not blown out by the real loud stuff as much. So it's compressed the audio. So that's a useful tool, and you can have a lot of control over all the parameters of how this works. You should really look into what these settings all mean. But definitely a powerful tool for you to be able to have control over the sound. But this is just one effect. There are a lot of effects that you can use in terms of audio adjustment, and you can play with all this stuff. But the typical stuff you'd want to use would be an EQ adjustment. So you could, here's pitch shifter. Pitch shifter is nice. Let's use pitch shifter on this thing. Ready? So this will be easy to detect. So if I take this thing and make it a lower pitch as we play it. Okay, so this is ridiculous and silly, but it's just another example of effect you can have, and these are just these are not actually affecting your audio at all. Nothing's destructive. These are just settings here. So if you don't like this because it's awful, then you delete it or turn it off because you actually like the original recording a lot better. So anyway, so there's a different way that you can have an effect on audio, and there's also a different way you can have an effect on video. And to be able to demonstrate that, I'm just going to look at a different part of this timeline. I'm going to zoom all the way out here, and I'm going to look at this massive amount of video that I edited into 22 minutes, and this is a lot of little clips. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Come in here and click on all these things and go and adjust all of them? Yeah, you could definitely do that. You could click on a clip and go to the effects controls. But there are other ways to do this when you're dealing with a lot of footage. So one way would be to take a clip that you want to say is representative of everything and determine that, oh, that clip needs this right here. It needs an effect. And then what you can do is you can copy that effect by simply copying the clip. I'm just going to say Command C to copy. And if you want to apply that effect to everything else in a whole bunch of other clips, then what you could do is you could simply select all the other clips and apply that effect by saying paste attributes. And this window comes up and asks you, what do you want to paste? And if it's just the position of it, or if there are effects that show up, there's no effects on this one. But then you could do that here by pasting the effects. I'm not going to do it to all the rest of the clips. Now it's dangerous because you could overwrite what's in those clips, so do that carefully. Same thing goes for audio. If you've applied an audio effect to, for example, this audio clip right here, you could copy and then go over here and then paste attributes to the other clip, and it would do the same thing and ask you what you wanted to paste. I'm going to say cancel. But there are other ways to do this, because this is tedious as well, but it is a solution. If you've chosen some example footage and audio and you want to take that same effect and apply it everywhere, you can copy and then paste those attributes to that other clip. But that is really tedious. The way that I've actually been working here is different. I've been applying effects in a way where for video, the effects get applied from the top down, and they get applied from the top down using an adjustment layer. So to demonstrate, I'll just turn the thing on and off by toggling the visibility, and you can see that the adjustment layer has affected all of the clips in a similar way. The way that I shot all of these scenes was something that needed to be adjusted for proper color and for proper contrast and detail. So I applied this adjustment layer to all the clips. How did I do that? That's crazy. I want to learn how to do that. Okay, so let's go into this here and see what the adjustment layer really is. It's just like a title. I just took this blank piece of footage, and here it is. And this is just like basically a blank piece of footage, this adjustment layer. And to make an adjustment layer, because you got to make it, you can't just apply it. You can't go over here and say File, New Adjustment Layer. It's grayed out, and it'll drive you mad if you even try to do that. But all you need to do is go into your project folder here. I'm going to press tilde. My project just auto-saved. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just find the tiny little icon right here, this new item icon. This is in the project folder, so it's right here, this window, new item. And you just say adjustment layer. And when you make a new adjustment layer, it asks you what size you want it to make it and what time base, because it actually does affect things with the resolution and time. But I'm going to name this one fake, because I'm just pretending that this is good. And I'm going to put this adjustment layer here, and it'll take up just the amount of space that you've set for your still images, and you can always spread that out. But this fake adjustment layer here, now I can apply all the effects to that I want. We can definitely go under here and say I want to make everything that's underneath this darker, and it would, and I could turn that off, and you would see that that effect would not get applied to all the frames underneath it. And I could also turn that back on, and it would get applied to all the frames underneath it. So this is a terrible adjustment that I've made, but it's a fake one, and it's just a demonstration of how you can have an effect from the top all the way down to all the clips that are underneath it. And obviously, there are two things happening here, this adjustment layer and this other one, and I can definitely toggle them. And you can also, if you want to make a change, like say halfway through everything changes differently, I could just make a cut in that clip, then come back here and take this adjustment layer and adjust it a little differently. Let's say all the clips after this, I had the wrong white balance and I have to really do this. Not true, but that's something that you could do if you wanted to use an adjustment layer, a single adjustment layer, and just keep tweaking it for everything. But it's really nice to be able to make one change over all of the collection of footage if you've been shooting it all in the same place and all has the same sort of qualities. Now, what about audio? What about audio? Can you do that to audio? Is there an adjustment layer for audio? That'd be pretty cool. There isn't, but and now you can definitely apply audio to the clips themselves, yeah. But there's another place to do that. So I'm going to reveal, in terms of audio production in Premiere Pro, the proper place to apply effects to the entire audio channel. So for example, audio channel 3 here, you know, there's a lot of audio here, and it was all recorded in the same way, audio channel 3. Audio channel 2 was recorded in a different way. There was a different camera recording audio in a different way. And so I don't want to apply the same effects to both of those channels. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to choose one channel, and what I'm going to reveal is that there are a lot of windows that are not open. They're not open all the time. The audio track mixer, I want that one. I have that open actually, and here it is. This is the audio track mixer. There's a little tiny place to turn these windows on and off, and I kind of forget where it is. Is it this here? Yeah, it's so sneaky. So this is what it normally looks like. This allows you to make adjustments in the volumes of each of the audio channels, audio channel 1, 2, 3, and all the way up until as many as you have, and then also the master. Now, you can see that this is different from what is normally open, the audio clip mixer. The clip mixer is for the individual clips that you're selecting, but this is for the entire track. So you want to make sure that you actually go and open up that window for audio track mixer. Now that it's open, I want to reveal just one more sort of interesting. There's a lot here. You can absolutely adjust the left and right panning of each of your tracks to optimize them for what you want, and you can do a lot more here. And there's more advanced tools, but in terms of applying effects, I want to reveal this little tiny triangle here. It's so small. And if you click it, it reveals that there are these places for effects and sends. And this is complicated, and you see that I have actually used this. So if there's some things here, this is how it will come. And there's no effects being applied to audio channel number 4 right now. I just changed the panning of that by scrolling. Audio channel number 4 has no effects, but I could apply effects all the way through audio channel 4 by, say, I don't know, clicking here and saying, I want a multi-band compressor. It's like a shopping spree. I want let's go reverb. Let's go do some convolution reverb, and let's make some let's go a delay. Let's put a delay on it. This is going to sound awful, I'm sure, but I can make it better. I can double click and adjust the effects and parameters of each of these effects that I'm sending to all the audio on that track, and I can have an effect on all that sound. So I'm going to turn this off. I'm just going to close these windows, come back out here, and let's look at our timeline. We have audio channel 4, which is basically doesn't have much in it, but guess what? I have some speech of mine. Now, I don't know. I want to see what this sounds like before I commit to playing with this. So I'm going to turn the effects off here. I'm just going to turn the effects off for these 3 things, and we'll hear how this sounds. I'll just press play. Hello. Could be a lakeside, I say. So it's very low audio level. Let's turn on the effects and see what this has done to really destroy all of the normalcy here. Come on, get in there. Well, it sounds really interesting, but it's not quite loud enough. I can affect the loudness by adjusting the gain in the multi-band compressor area here. You can adjust the gain in a lot of places. We could talk about gain staging, but we're not going to. Let's just boost the gain and see what happens here. Come on. You can do it. We're going to have to wait. Oh man, it's really creepy. So that's weird, but it's fun. And so that's an easy way for you to now know that those effects are applied to the entire audio channel 4. And so if we go into this thing we were listening to before with the guitar, now we're going to hear. that has the effect on it. That's like the reverb and the delay and all that. Let's go into something that has spit out. Oh man, this is not normal. That is not normal. But if we turn the effects off of audio channel 4, or for example, if we just take this and place this in a different channel all its own, well, that's just audio of the water.
Not included, and more importantly, what is...
So there's normal, and I'm going to put it back in the audio channel and... All right, so I don't know about you guys, but I think that sounded really great, and I'm going to have to use that for all the rest of our videos. But what I've just demonstrated is that you can have the power to have an effect on audio clip just by applying an effect individually. You also have the ability to do that to a video clip, but you can also use smart techniques like opening up the audio track mixer and applying effects directly to a single audio channel to affect all the audio on that channel, and then also using an adjustment layer to affect all the video underneath it, so you have a little bit more of a global control for the effects you apply to all this footage and audio you might be editing together.